If you can do this one thing that takes 10 minutes to implement, you'll be able to turn cold strangers into 5 to 10K clients within 5 minutes of landing on your Instagram. And listen, if you can't watch a short video that teaches you how I aura farm $83,000 every single month selling info, then you just don't deserve the aura. Lock in. Now, when I say aura farm, this comes down to the number one rule, and that is for someone to buy coaching, they need to view you as above them. If they don't view you as above them, they're not going to buy it because they're buying for you to coach them on a certain something. So you need to show that you're better than them. Now, there are many ways you can do this. You can be very, very direct, like someone like Andrew Tate, and just straight up tell them, hey, I'm better than you. Or you can be very subtle about it, like someone like Iman. But no matter what, you need to find a way to show that you're better so that they're going to buy. And that's what I mean when I say aura farming. For example, Julius, someone I worked with and we scaled to 60K a month, one of the things he said was that he was a little bit uncomfortable with throwing his dick around and showing how much money he made and etc. And I told him, for these people, they need to see that for them to buy. They need to see that you are better than them. And he started implementing it. He scaled to 60K a month. The full video where I helped him scale his business is here. And now he's been able to do 10K days, scale to 60K a month, and so on. And it's all because we're aura farming. Now, I'm going to show you exactly where to aura farm so that you can be able to show people that you're better than them and put them in a position where they have to buy our coaching program. Now, the first place that we're going to show that we're above them is in the ads. So in the ads, what we're going to do is the first thing is speak to their problems and speak to where they're at, right? When you speak to their problems and you speak to what they're struggling with, they're going to immediately think, oh, that's me. This person can help me, right? It's the same thing when you step into the doctor. Because they're able to diagnose exactly what you're struggling with, they're able to diagnose what you're facing, that's why you think, oh, the solution they give me must be correct. If you just walked in and they gave you medicine, you wouldn't care. But because you can speak to them directly, if you can speak to them directly in the ad, and they look at it and they say, yeah, this is me. This is exactly what I'm feeling. Then you present that you've solved it, that you're better, and that you have client results. Obviously, you always want to show proof in these ads, and you always want to show that you're better, right? But if you look at some of my ads, here's what I do. So
I'm 16 years old. I make $100K a month in info, and within 5 seconds of clicking on my IG profile, you're gonna.
So for example, in this one, I immediately show that I'm better, right? I immediately go, I make 100K a month in info. I'm 16. I immediately position myself as they're gonna think, oh, this guy knows something I don't know, and that's the point. That's why we do it, right? Because we need to show that we're better. Then, in some of my other ads, I'm going to find an example very, very quickly. I'm basically calling out what they're struggling with. A very, very good example of this, one of my ads that has gotten some of the most qualified people ever is like, for example, this ad.
If you live in Miami and your coaching program made $25,713 last month, then watch this video all the way till the end. You probably hang out with models every week. You have a decent apartment in Brickell and maybe even a C8. But every time you go to the club, someone has a better table than you. And it's because they're doing over 100K a month.
So again, I'm speaking to exactly what they're going through and what they're facing. And that's how when they say, oh, this person can speak so exactly to me, they expect me to have the solution. So from these ads, I've gotten people just message me like, hey, I saw this. It was extremely accurate. I want your help. For example, right here, this is from the Miami ad. This guy was like, I'm making 20K a month, I'm getting a C8, and I want better table sections. I got questions. If you want to hop on a call, we can, or if you want to just do it over text, that works too. So immediately off seeing the ad, he DMs me and says, hey, I'm in this exact situation. Because there's so much trust in me being able to diagnose the situation. And then after I've diagnosed the situation, I present the solution, and I present clients who have used that solution to go from their situation to another situation. So that's what we're doing. We know exactly where they are. We say, hey, you are in this situation, and then we present ourselves and our clients as better than that, right? That's the first place where you're going to show that you're better. That's the first place you're going to aura farm. The second place is in your reels. So most people, when they make their reels, they try to educate people. They try to tell people, hey, here's what you need to do, and they try to educate people. So then you basically need to take someone from unaware to aware to educated to liking it and then to following you in the same reel. I never try to educate people in my reels. I just try to make my reels very, very interesting, which is why they get views, right? Who else has a private jet for their client retreat? You know, I'm like, my reels are just about getting attention. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to convert someone in a 60-second video, but what you can do is you can show, for example, I'll go ahead and show you guys a great example. Right here, I'm showing that I'm closing deals. I closed $30,000 in 2 days, right? People are going to see this. This video got about, got 140,000 views. people see it and they think, oh, he's making money, right? And people recognize fan bases, people recognize all these things. So I'm getting the right people in, and I don't need to educate them on like, here's what you need to do to make money. They just see that I'm making money. They might like, they might follow. Then they'll see more content. They'll see the stories, they'll see the YouTube, then they'll trust, and then I convert them. So number one, I'm attracting people that are already educated, like they're already in the space, and then I just convert them with results. And it's way easier for me to get attention than with educational content, because like, when was the last time you went on Instagram to be educated? You probably go there to be entertained. And when I entertain people, I can take them deeper into it. When I entertain someone, when you have their attention, it's very, very easy to direct that attention over to YouTube, over to stories, over to a one-to-one conversation with the setter, where we can share specific case studies, where we can talk to them, where we can convert them. But on our reels, we just focus on being liked. We just focus on showing that we have results, because we don't need to educate someone on 60-second Instagram reels. Now, the last part, and this is where you're going to order farm the most, is your actual Instagram profile, right? Because all this traffic, you're running it to your Instagram profile. So here's where the real money is made. So on your profile, the first part is obviously your bio. You want to have like some sort of hero statement that shows why you're the best. You want to have obviously in every single video, anywhere you push traffic, you obviously want to share results first. Even in this video, I shared results before I went into the value, because you need to know why people need to understand, why should I list them, right? If not, they're not going to care. And also on how I do my highlights, I show my lifestyle, I show results, I do story sequences. When I do my story sequences, if you look at my highlights, when I do my story sequences, there's lifestyle in the background. There's a Lambo in the background. There's all these things. I'm showing signs that I know what I'm talking about. Or like in this one, I'm showing signs that I know what I'm talking about when I'm holding a mastermind presentation. So when you do things, you need to show that you're better than others. We've done this for another example, is now I'm showing myself a lot, but let's say a client, Andres. For him, he doesn't flex money, right? It's not money that he needs to flex. He needs to flex that he's overcome his anxiety disorder. Some days, he'll even flex on his stories that he's drinking coffee, because when you have this anxiety disorder, you can't drink coffee because it stimulates you too much. So he can flex that, hey, I can drink coffee. And then he shows that he's on podcasts talking about DPDR, depersonalization, derealization disorder. He's doing 70K a month with an anxiety coaching offer, because we're presenting ourselves. Again, this is Aura Farming, the #1 DPDR coach in the world. I've helped hundreds. We're just showing results. We're just showing proof. We're showing him. We ran a lot of these podcast clips as ads. Podcast clips perform exceptionally well because they show that he's credible, and they show that he's above them. And so that is the entire premise of how we set up our profiles. You want to be able to show people that you're better than them. So on your profile, this is the main place where you're going to aura farm. You're going to show people that you're better than them, that you have the results that they want. And from that, they're going to see your lifestyle, they're going to see your results, and they're going to think, what is the way of getting this? That's when they're going to go deeper in the funnel. That's when they're going to care about the technical breakdown. That's when they're going to care about your solution. That's when someone is going to look at my profile and think, okay, how does he make so much money with info? And they're going to DM me, and they're going to speak with my setter, or they're going to book a call, or they're going to watch the YouTube. That's when they'll go deeper into it. With Andres, when they see him on podcast, they see the results, they see he's the #1 DPDR coach in the world. We're flexing client results on 15 different highlights now. We're saying, hey, nobody's better than me. I have a 100% success rate. When we do this, people are going to think, how? And that's when they're going to DM and rewire to work with one-to-one with him. That's when they're going to start watching his YouTube channel and get more and more nurtured, right? So it all starts with aura farming. It all starts with showing that you're better. And then there are a few more things you need to install that later down the line, like obviously the right nurturing, the right market positioning, the right sales team. And you need to tie everything together and make everything make sense and do the aura farming the right way. However, if you want to aura farm with me, like my other clients, Eric, who's crossed past 100K a month, George, who's crossed past 100K a month, Hudson, who's crossed past 121K a month, Andres, who I just showed you, who's crossed past 70K a month. And then you book a call below. I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step implementation that you need so that you can aura farm and start making money through aura farming.